Okay, good. What time is it? Good morning. Yes, it's good morning. Long day already. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to DuePoint. Good morning to everyone who's tuned in around the country on our live stream. My name's Rob. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending the next 60 minutes with you going through the DuePoint business opportunity and what we're all about and what we do. So you here at our head office, we're actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company, one of the very few. They were founded in 1952, so a very long-standing, reputable insurance business. That's Constantia's building in the background there. They're actually based down the road from us in Randburg. The little orange logo, if you see it over there. Constantia have typically only dealt with other businesses, more specifically other financial businesses, and for the first time through DuePoint are they now engaging with consumers, with the public, you and I, okay? The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there, 31111, and you'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler outside, we've got all our FSP licenses on display. So we've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got an investment license, and we've got our FSP license. We've also got our accreditation with the Direct Selling Association and the Direct Marketing Association. It's very important for us, for you guys to start building some trust in the business that we're going to be speaking about. Credibility is something we take very seriously here at DuePoint. So you're welcome to go do a background check on DuePoint, on Constantia. We're actually part of another business called Conduit Capital, which is listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. Okay, the executives and the management team, this is them. The three individuals on the far left are all registered chartered accountants, and we are led by our senior executive, Brendan Benfield, who's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because his whole family are very much entrenched in insurance. His entire life. His father's a professor of insurance who taught at Wits for 25 years, Dr. Brian Benfield, who went on and started a host of companies locally as well as overseas, been very successful in the financial space. Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps. And they founded a business, a short-term insurer down the road called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD. And we know PMD because they are constantly advertising to consumers all the time on TV, radio, billboards. I've got a billboard right outside my window, a PMD billboard. Okay? So they've been very successful in the financial market space. Tim Reynolds, he's got a lot of experience in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for a number of years, a fairly cushy corporate job, I think, that he had there. I don't know why he came and joined us. He's working way harder here than I think he was over there. But he reported directly to the board of executives and the CEO at the First Rand Group, and they're a massive corporate banking organization. They own FNB, Rand Merchant Bank. I think they own Discovery too. Very large banking organization. Tim heads up all our auditing, our financial, our accounting aspects. Stacey supports him in that role. She's got a lot of experience in auditing. She's worked with Deloitte all her working career. She worked here as well as overseas in Europe before she came back to South Africa and joined the team. And so those are our accountants. I think the accountants actually started this business to make friends, because accountants typically don't have friends. Have you noticed this? Very bad at socializing. Very bad at socializing. So they've got two non-accountants on the team. The fun of the business. We're the fun of the business. The two non-accountants. Jane has got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling. She actually comes from York in the UK, but she's been in South Africa for about 10 years. And even though we're an insurance business, our success is very much dependent on our ability to grow. And our growth is through network marketing or referral marketing, or whatever you want to call it. And Jane brings all of that experience with her to this business. Myself, I've got a lot of experience in marketing and advertising. As a trade, I'm a designer or a creative director, so I studied design after school. I tried a stint at engineering, but it was far too much work, so I went back into advertising and marketing. Way more fun. And I started a digital agency in the late 90s when the internet was booming. You remember the internet was booming in those days? We all had the funny little modem that made a funny noise. That was when I got involved in the internet and kind of the digital space. And I started this business. I ran it for nearly 20 years, fairly successfully. And I'll touch on why I left that business a little later on in the presentation. But this is the team you're going to be dealing with. When I speak about the credibility of the business, what I actually mean is the credibility of the individuals. Because when we talk about a partnership, you're not partnering with a business, right? Some intangible thing that's registered at the the registrar's office. We're talking about the people. And these are the people you're going to be dealing with if you join this business. And so you're welcome to do background checks on us. I'm on Facebook as well as LinkedIn. I don't have any referral letters for you, but I hope that this team will lend to the credibility of this business proposition. And it's very important for you. Like I said, we take credibility very seriously. I want you to start developing this trust with the individuals, with the people, and with the business as a whole, before you can make that leap of faith about joining this business that you've been introduced to. Okay. And remember, our mandate here is to support the wealth engineers that join this business. So we call the people that join our business wealth engineers. It's important for us to see you be effective and successful in this business, because we can only be profitable as a business if you being effective, right? So it's in my interest to see you being effective, right? So we have this common interest, which is, again, fundamental in creating a partnership, in that we collaborate together towards each other's success. Okay, so why are you here this morning? Sure, I got out of bed this morning, I looked at the weather, I thought no one's coming to head office in this weather. Hey? Yesterday was beautiful, today, Cape Town weather. A mess, no offense to Cape Town. So why are you here? What is the premise of you being here? What did the person that introduced you to DuePoint say to you to give you enough interest that you arrived here on a Saturday morning? Because there are way better things to be doing on a Saturday morning. You could still be in bed. You can be shouting at the spouse to bring you some coffee in bed, arguing with your kids. Way better things, right? Watching sport, going to watch the kids do sport, whatever it is. But what I like to kind of address at this part of the presentation is really the driving behavior in our society where people are interested in making more money. Because that's what I assume the people that said to you, that introduced you to DuePoint, said to you. They said, do you want to make more money? Are you interested in a business proposal or opportunity to make more money? And you said yes. I hope they didn't say to you, do you want me to take you out for free tea and coffee? And then you arrived here and then they ambushed you with a presentation. That's not the way to do it. Got to be upfront and honest about this business, right? So the driving behavior that we kind of discuss, I discuss three things. The one is the economy. The economy is in a dismal state at the moment. It is in a dismal state, and there are no signs of improvement at the moment, unfortunately. The whole of last year, we were quoting our economy's growth rate being 0.3%. At least then it was positive. Do you know what it is now? Negative. The economy is shrinking in this country. We're going backwards. So now the economists have said we're in a technical recession. What do you say to the 800,000 kids that come out of school in a job market that's shrinking? And this is what we faced within the economy. It plays out personally in our lives. This economy is this word that the economists throw around, and they talk about all these things that we don't understand, but we feel the pain because it leads to unemployment. It leads to higher interest rates. So we feel that pain personally. One aspect that certainly makes this whole situation worse for us is the four-letter word that you see up on the screen. Can you see that four-letter word? That one you love. The one you have so much of. The one you say yes to every time. The one you don't think you have enough of. The difference between the economic state and debt is the economy you don't have control over. But debt you certainly have control over, because debt is something you willingly took on. No one forced debt down your throat. We took it on willingly. And unfortunately, the average South African engages in a lot of debt. We are afforded debt the moment you earn a salary. When you get that salary, typically your employer puts it in a bank account. And the moment that happens, you're seen as this person that gets a salary every month. That is a great indicator to other businesses that want to debit you that you'll be able to pay, right? So you'll get exposed to a whole bunch of services and products that might debit you every single month. And a lot of those services are debt instruments, okay? But on the other side, there's still savings and investments that you can engage in. But guess what we engage with? We engage with the debt. That's almost like a natural part of life. No one turns their nose up at debt. And so the average South African has got credit cards and home loans and car loans, educational loans, personal loans, micro loans, hire purchase loans, credit cards, whatever it is. There's a plethora of these different debt instruments that we seem to engage in, and it locks us into a debt cycle for longer than we think it will. Some people will die with debt. You think the debt disappears when you die? No. It becomes a Christmas present for your children. It does. We don't realize that, right? We don't realize the effect that debt has on our lives. We get a lot of statistics as a business from the Financial Services Board. Lots of statistics that paints this picture of what personal finance looks like for the average South African. And we see that all these South Africans are just engaging in debt. And for the first time, they start looking at investments is only when they're around the age of 50. Far too late. Far too late. But why do we do that? What is the reason that the average South African only engages in savings and investment products when they're in their 50s? Because you've been locked in a cycle of debt up until then. Think about it. You start earning a salary. How long did it take for you to get an Edgar's card or a Jet card or a credit card when you first started earning a salary? You engaged in debt almost immediately when you started, or taking a loan from somebody, right? And when you go through your 20s, you might have a little bit of debt. But as the accountability starts to increase in your life, you want to rent or own a home, you start having these little financial burdens running around your house that cost an absolute fortune to maintain, right? Your accountability becomes greater, your costs become greater, and so we engage in more debt without even knowing it, because we just want to get by. We want to keep ahead of the curve. It doesn't help when the economy says to the majority of businesses, sorry, you can't afford to give your staff an 8% increase this year, or last year, or next year. But inflation's sitting at 8%. Groceries, inflation is sitting at 11%. Groceries doubling in price every 8 years. Did you know that? And so, that debt cycle becomes tighter and tighter and tighter. 50% of the South Africans that have got debt are under debt review. That's a new statistic we got this year. 50% of South Africans that have debt are under debt review. 50% of South Africans haven't been able to pay their debt back for longer than 3 months consecutively. That's the state of affairs in South Africa. And so as you start to go through life, you're renting, you've got all these kids depending on you, you're trying to put them through school, you're trying to do as well as you can. And only when you start getting later to life, when you realize that you're 10 years away from retirement, finally the kids are out the house, hopefully supporting themselves. Finally you've paid a house off, or you've built your own house, or whatever you've done, and you're not paying rent, or you're not paying a bond anymore, and for the first time do you actually have money to put away into an investment or savings. And that's why I think South Africans are only for the first time able to engage in savings and investment products when they're in their 50s. But it's too late. Here's some data that shows you what responsible retirement planning looks like. Okay? So we've got 3 columns here. This data isn't our data. This was published on the fin24.com website late last year. But we've got 3 columns here. So what the columns do, they say the top line is an income derived from an investment that you've made. So if you put money away into your retirement plan or some form of investment, when you've built up enough investment and you retire and your boss doesn't pay you a salary, you'll derive an income from the investment that you made, right? This is how retirement planning works. So if you've got R1 million in place, by the time you retire, that R1 million will pay you out 5,000 Rand a month. Is that enough to live on once you retire? Remember, the kids are out the house. It's just you and maybe your spouse, and a dog and a cat maybe. You can't get by on 5,000 Rand a month. So let's look at the second example. 26,000 Rand a month, you need 5 million Rand to have been invested by the time you retire. If you're around the age of 20 to 25, you can start engaging in this without it being too onerous, right? So you're 20 to 25, you can start saving towards R1 million. You need to put 800 Rand away every month for 40 years. And that contribution needs to increase in line with inflation. So that 800 Rand has to increase by 8% a year. How do you do that when your boss isn't giving you 8% increase a year? Can you see how that debt cycle squeezes and squeezes and squeezes in this economy? But we're not looking at the first column because that's certainly not a dignified retirement. We look at this column. 5 million Rand, that's the goal. get to 5 million rand, you're around the age of 20 to 25, you can start doing this because you've got 40 years. You need to put 4,000 rand a month away for the next 40 years without interruption. You can't get retrenched, you can't be in between jobs because then you'll eat into that investment. Do you think South Africans are doing this? They aren't. Only 2% of South Africans get to retirement financially independent. 2%. There's about 140 people in this room. So that's maybe 2-3 people in this entire room will get to retirement financially independent. The rest of us will be termed financially dependent. What does that mean? Financially dependent. Who are you going to be dependent on? Somebody. Somebody that loves you, you hope. Because now they have to share their money with you. Now you become a financial burden to your children. Can you see the debt cycle? It doesn't just happen to you. The debt cycle jumps from generation to generation to generation. How do you break out of this debt cycle? Well, we saw an opportunity. As a business, as an enterprise, we saw an opportunity to create a system, to create a platform for the average South African to engage in that will help them, give them the hope that they can get out of this debt cycle. And so the DuePoint system was born. Last year in February, we launched this business. We've got 3 aspirations for our wealth engineers, 3 goals for our wealth engineers. Number 1, when you get involved in this business, we want this to be your number 1 goal. Get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. Get rid of it as quickly as possible. We want you to one day come to DuePoint and say, from this month, I'm debt-free. What does debt-free look like? It looks like when your salary gets deposited into your account, it stays in your account. Because what's happening at the moment? Your salary gets put into the account, and then you get the SMSs from the bank. Home loan debited, car loan debited, personal loan debited, educational loan debited. And then you're hoping you've got enough money left over for the cost of living. The cost of living you still have to pay out of what's left over. So we want you to become debt-free. Completely debt-free. No more debt in life. You own the house. You own the car. You pay for your kids' education a year up front at the school. Isn't that a great thing? You go to the school on the 1st of January, you say, here's the whole year. Yeah. That's what we want. Brendan will always say in his training that he gives, money isn't everything. It's about 99% of it. It's true, right? All our problems, most of them can be sorted out with a little more money. Our second aspiration for our wealth engineers is for our wealth engineers to engage in a true investment. A true investment. When we're in a debt cycle, we don't have the opportunity to invest. You can't wait until you're 50 to start putting money into an investment. We want to see you do it sooner. So if you become debt-free, you now have opportunity to start investing properly. A home is not an investment, by the way. Always hear young people talking about, oh no, if you just pay your house off, that's a great investment to have. How is that an investment? You're living in your investment. Unless you decide you're going to hire out all the other rooms in your house and make money out of it, or you're going to sell your house and move into a caravan, only then can it be a good investment. If you want a proper property asset investment, you need to have your own house and another house. The second house you rent out, right? So don't be fooled by what people sometimes term investments. We want you to engage in a true investment, something that you can work towards long term. Not in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Long term, 5, 10, 20, 30 years time. You work towards something. And then the third aspiration we have for our wealth engineers is just to be happier. Because if you're debt-free and you're creating value in an asset that can be seen as an investment, I promise you at the end of the month you're going to be happier. You're not going to be depressed like all of us in January when we spent all our money on December holidays, Christmas presents, and traveling, and then the employer does you a disservice by paying you early, and you forget that you got paid early, and then when you realize, oh no, I've already been paid, I have to suffer through January. We don't want that for you. The reason you're sitting in this room this morning is because you want change in your life. And that's what we're speaking about. The system is the ability to jump into this change, right? To embrace it, to change your life. Not for only you, your family, and maybe even generations to come, right? So those are our 3 aspirations. How does this work? Basically, our guests here this morning, you have the opportunity to join DuePoint. What happens, you actually contract with us. And in this contract, we only want you to do one thing. There's only one thing you do in this business. It's going out and building what we call channels of distribution. All right, I'll show you what a channel of distribution looks like. That's all we want you to do. And through these channels of distribution, which is really you introducing us to people, you connecting people to DuePoint, through our online platform, we'll place products with those people, and when we do that, you will become a successful wealth engineer. Okay? And what is the benefit for you? The benefit, well, the first one's obvious, is that you get to create an additional income stream for yourself. This is the only way you can get rid of your debt any faster than what you're doing now. You happy to pay a bond off over 20 years? No. Do it in half the time. You need additional income to do it in half the time. You want to pay your educational loan off faster? You need additional income to do that. Okay? Recurring income. This is a benefit of this business. It's particular to this business, an insurance business, and the way we've structured the system allows you to create recurring income. Now I'm going to go back to my story around where I ran this business for 17 years. In our business, we couldn't create recurring income. You're probably wondering, well, why is that a bad thing? Let me tell you why that's a bad thing. Because in my business, we were a service-based company, right? So we would go out and find clients and find work, and then we would do the work, design, programming, developing, creating websites, apps, all of those digital things, and then we'd invoice the client. And at the end of the month, I'd have to do it again. My income would start at 0 again. I had to create the income every single month just to be profitable, just to get by. And I did this for 17 years, and I realized a lot sooner than that, probably after year 10, I realized that I was going to have to do this for the rest of my life. Not till I was 60, for the rest of my life. Because I wasn't creating an asset that would pay me out unless I was at work doing the work every single month. This business doesn't do that. This business allows you to build up an asset. That asset will pay you out a recurring income. So the effort that you put into this business in June doesn't only pay you at the end of June. It'll pay you at the end of July, at the end of August, at the end of September. The effort that you put in June 2017 can potentially still be paying you in June 2027. This is an awesome benefit in this business. You get to harness the power of duplication. The power of duplication is leverage. I like to explain leverage or give an example of the CEO. A CEO in a successful business, does he get the biggest salary? Yes, he does. Does he get the biggest bonus? Typically, yes, he does, right? He gets all the best benefits. Why is it? He's got the same amount of hours as you and I in the day. The person working in the mailroom has got 8 hours that he's putting in a day, and the CEO is probably putting in 8 hours a day, maybe more. But the CEO is getting way more. Why? He's leveraging. He's got 1,000 staff working for him, each creating a little bit of value in that business that adds up to a lot. You get to do a similar thing in this business. The power of duplication, these channels of distribution that we speak about building, are you actually going out and building a team that collaborates with you. And when you're collaborating, you're investing way more time than you can on your own. So let's say, for example, you only have an hour to invest in this business a day. But if you go out and you build a team of 10 people all doing the same thing, collectively now you've got 11 hours being invested into your asset that creates a greater recurring income for you, right? Do you see the collaboration, the power of duplication? This business is flexi time. Initially when I gave this presentation, I thought, flexi time's great. Guys, you can do this business whenever you want to. What I've learned over the last couple of years is that's the wrong way to look at it. Because even though anyone can join this business and become a wealth engineer, you're not here to join a business. You're here to make a difference in your life, which means you have to be successful in this business. And this business will not be successful if you're doing it in your spare time. Everyone got spare time? You're sitting at home doing nothing. I don't know what to do with myself, right? We don't have spare time. I don't have spare time. You have to make the spare time, which means you have to sacrifice something in order to fit DuePoint into your life. If you want to be successful at this, this has to become a routine in your business. Don't treat this like a New Year's resolution. I want you lose weight this year. I'm going to join a gym. You go for 2 weeks, the gym never sees you again. This is not a hobby. We've just spoken about the economy and debt and retirement. These are life-changing events that affect us deeply in our families. Don't treat this as a hobby. So by the end of this presentation, there's going to be a big, bright orange slide that says, decision time. The decision, I don't care whether you're joining or you're not joining. I don't actually. What I care about is whether you've taken this seriously enough to consider how this is going to fit into your life so that you can be successful at being a wealth engineer. So flexi time, benefit, yes. Realistically, it means sacrifice time. No startup capital. There's no registration fees to join this business. There's no boxes of product that you have to go spend thousands on to get started in this business. It's a very low-risk endeavor. There's no qualifications or experience required. Why is this even a benefit? Because we work in financial services, and if you speak to anyone involved in financial services, they'll tell you how onerous it is. What a pain in the bum it is to work in financial services, because we are regulated by this thing called the FASE Act, and we have to do everything the FSB tells us, and it's a lot of things that we have to do. We contract you out of all of that obligation, so you don't have to worry about it. You can benefit from financial services without worrying about any of that obligation around the regulation, right? Good benefit. You get to build an asset. Now, this is, again, a very important benefit. Why? Because if I propose to you that I want your spare time, I want you to sacrifice time. We're talking about time with your kids, relaxing after 8 hours of work. At least know that the time you're investing in this business becomes a legal asset that you have. What does that mean? It means you have ownership over this channel of distribution that you're creating. Why is that important? Well, let me show you the antithesis of that. It's called employment. Because all of us will spend 40, 45 years working for some other company, somebody else, spending our lives there, where we have no ownership, no shares, no dividend check every quarter. We have to participate in the risk of that business, but we don't get to participate in the upside. That's employment. In an economy where we're probably more likely to get retrenched than get an increase. In this business, the time that you invest in it, you've got ownership over it. You can sell this business one day. You can give it to your kids one day. If you get too old, you can cede it, or you die, you can cede it to your beneficiaries. You can move it into a family trust. You have options around this asset you're building that you have ownership over. There's no selling involved. I don't see any happy faces. Let me say it again. Let me say it again. There's no selling involved. You should be happy. I bet the first question you asked the person that told you about this business opportunity, what's the products? What's the products? What we're selling at that business? You walked in and you were looking for the milkshakes and the multivitamins. Where's their product here? There's no selling involved. We contract you out of the selling. All you're going to be doing is telling people about the business opportunity. That is not selling. It is the most, what's the word? The most valuable commodity in this economy at the moment. The most valuable commodity in this economy is opportunity. People are hungry for opportunity. This is what you're going to be telling people about. You're not going to be selling. You're not going to be speaking about products. The nature of our business being financial means our products are financial, means they are intangible products. Why is that a benefit? Because there's no box of products you have to buy. Who brought their uncle's bakkie because they thought they're going home with lots of products today? They don't take up space, our products. We don't run out of our products. We don't have stock problems when it comes to our products. Our products don't smell funny. Right? These are benefits. We make this business as simple and as convenient to get involved in as possible. Right? And this is all predicated on you being successful at building channels of distribution. Facebook works on the same premise. Channels of distribution. The whole network of friends that you have on Facebook, those are channels of distribution that Facebook leverages to do their advertising through. And then they sell that advertising. They sell those networks that you've created. They sell that to companies that are willing to buy that network to expose their products into. So Facebook works on the same premise. This works on the same thing. It begins with you. And when you go out and you tell people about the business opportunity, what DuePoint does, and you're successful at that, or should I say we're successful at that, those people have taken out products. That is the beginning of your channel of distribution. You tell people about the opportunity. Brendan or myself do the work in telling people what the business is, what the products are, and if those people become wealth engineers just like you, they'll go out and do the same thing. Now this is leverage, because you have this organic growth that takes place in your channel, because those 5 people that joined are going to go out and do exactly what you did, except for this guy. He was lazy, he likes generations too much, doesn't want to do any work. Right? But you have this organic growth. This is the power of duplication. This is what your channel looks like. And after another month, there will be a couple of more people in your business, and your recurring income will increase. And if you've created a sustainable enough business with quality individuals that have started with the first 5 quality individuals that you've put into this business, you'll have a sustainable business, an asset that actually has value beyond month to month. And you can be in the position in 5 or 10 years' time where you can go on a 6th month holiday and get paid every single month. So this is what it looks like. My disclaimer slide. This is my warning slide. Right? Because I've been in this business now for almost 2 years, and I've realized the pitfalls of it. You'll be excused if you came into this presentation thinking you've been invited to another one of those presentations. Have you heard of those presentations? When I joined this business, I could not believe how many get-rich-quick schemes actually exist in this country. Hundreds of them that promise success easily. So there's 2 things. Number 1, we're not a get-rich-quick scheme. Don't even smell like it. We're a 70-year-old insurance business run by fuddy-duddy accountants, right? Accountants don't do anything wrong. So very credible people, credible business has been around for a very long time. The second thing that I won't promise you is that success will come easily. It doesn't exist in any sphere of life. Any sphere of life. Is marriage easy? Is losing weight easy? Being a good Christian easy? Everything that you want to be successful at is difficult. You can become a wealth engineer, that's easy. Become a successful wealth engineer, difficult. You can get married, easy. Be successful at marriage, difficult. You can have a baby, easy. For the men, easy for the men, not so easy for the women. Being a good parent, difficult. Anyone that tells you that being successful in business is easy, just put money in this account and in 2 weeks I'll put 50% extra for you. Lying to you. It doesn't exist. It doesn't. So in this business, it is difficult. There is frustration. We are very much a people business. Dealing with people is frustrating already. I hardly get on with my direct family. Now I must get on with everyone. So there's frustration in it. But I promise you, we are here to support every wealth engineer that joins this business that is active. Do not fool yourself with short-term expectation in this business. Don't get frustrated in the first few months and think, this business doesn't work for me, I'm leaving. There are many of those people that do that. I don't want you to be one of them. Okay? So that's my disclaimer. Let's talk about the money. We pay our wealth engineers what we call a return at the end of every month, right? Based on how many products you have in your channel of distribution. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product you have in your channel every month. Remember, it's recurring income. Remember the first 5 people you introduced to the business successfully? They lie on your first point. They are 1 point away from you. These are people you introduced personally to the business, and on your first point, we pay you double the R27.50. So we pay you R55 for everyone on point 1 and point 2 every single month in a recurring fashion. Okay? On point 3, the multiplier drops back to 100%. We're paying you R27.50. You don't even know those people. Point 4, your business starts to grow. All the way down to point 8, you see the multiplier starts to drop. But from point 8 onwards, we don't stop paying you. We keep paying you that 4% from your 8th point onwards. So when your business is that big, know that we will never limit you on how big your channel can get at DuePoint. And we will not limit you on how much you can earn at DuePoint. Never. The accountability lies directly with you. Directly with you. How much time are you going to spend in this business? How many years are you going to spend in this business? Okay, so this is the mechanics of the returns. Fairly straightforward. The next natural question is, well, how much money can I earn in this business? Like, what are we talking about? After a few months or after a few years, what is the amount I can earn? So what we did was we built this thing called the Path to Success. It is based on a growth formula. It assumes that a new wealth engineer can bring 3 people into their business in the first month. Only 3. And then in the second month, you bring in 2. In the third month, another 2. Fourth month, another 2. We call it the 3 plus 2 growth formula. 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 into perpetuity, right? Because if you're going to be here forever, you're going to be adding 2 people forever, every month. It's only 1 person every 2 weeks. Sound doable? Okay, I think it's a fairly plausible example. If you can do that, you can expect to earn about 2,500 rand after 6 months. When I first looked at the example, I thought, that's not a lot, is it? 2,500 rand. My wife's a lawyer. She's a legal counsel for a big mining company. And she briefs lawyers that charge that in about 30 minutes. The difference is they're doing once off. This is recurring. That lawyer has to go find that half an hour every single half an hour, right? This, when you get to 2,500 rand, it becomes recurring income. But let's look a little closer at the 2,500 rand. Because it's easy to turn your nose up at 2,500 rand. You go, it'll help. It'd be great if I had the cash here now, you would take it. But if I said to you, well, you've got to work for 6 months, But let me give you some context. Because remember our first goal for our wealth engineers? Get rid of debt. So what are you going to do when you start earning 2,500 rand at DuePoint? You're not going to spend it on lunch, handbags, shoes. I like shoes. Gimmicks, technology. I can spend money on many, many things that don't contribute to my future. So you're going to take the 2,500 rand, and here we have an example of someone with a 1 million rand bond. They found a nice 1 million rand townhouse. They went to the bank, asked for the money because they don't have it in cash. The bank agreed, checked their credit record, checked what they're earning every month, said, okay, we'll give you the bond. How long are you going to pay that bond off for? 20 years? 20 years. So if you're in the fortunate position of getting this bond in your 30s, when are you going to pay the house off? When you're in your 50s, right? 20 years. At the current interest rate, you're probably going to be paying back about 11,500 rand a month. Yes? But with some success at DuePoint, 6 months later, you're earning 2,500 rand, and you put that 2,500 rand as an additional payment into your bond. The result is that that bond will get paid off in less than 12 years. In 11 and a half years. You will be in your 40s now and have paid that house off instead of waiting till your 50s. Do you know how much money that little 2,500 rand saves you in repayments? How much money are you going to save in the long run if you put extra 2,500 rand into that bond every month? You're going to save 1 million rand. You're going to save 100% of the property asset. Isn't that crazy? The house cost you 1 million rand. You put just extra 2,500 rand into the bond payment. You save yourself 1 million rand. I didn't believe it. I didn't. I had to go check. I went and Googled compound interest calculator on Google, and I put all the calculations in. Said, okay, I put extra 2,500 rand in. You pay 1 million rand less in the long term. You want to save yourself 1 million rand? It's 6 months away. After 12 months, you could be earning in excess of 100,000 rand annually in your flexi time job. Anyone get 100,000 rand bonus this year? Come on, there's a big audience. There must be one person. "24 months later, you could be earning 30,000 rand a month. Close to 30,000 rand a month in recurring income. Oh, Mama, you are so late for this intro presentation. After 36 months, you could be close to 50,000 rand a month. You want to look at the bond example? Here's an example of a 5 million rand bond. You're a high flyer now. At the 30-month mark, you're probably earning about 36,000 Rand a month. You take that 36,000 Rand a month and put it into your debt, into your bond as an additional payment. You'll pay off that 5 million Rand house in less than 7 years. It's nearly a third of the time. So if you're in your 30s, well, let's take me, for example. I just turned 40, right? So I've got about 20 years until retirement, early retirement. I think retirement now is 65, if they don't put you on early retirement. But let's say I retire at 61. So I've got 21 years. I can do this exercise 3 times over. Why buy the 5 million Rand house and take 20 years to pay it off? Pay the bank back 2.5 times the value of the asset, and then think that I've bought this investment, that my bond, I've been contributing into this investment, my bond. No. Pay the house off sooner. If I can do it in less than 7 years, I can buy 3 properties. 3 properties in that space of time. By the age of 47, I've paid off my first house, 5 million Rand. I buy another one. By the age of 54, I've paid off my second house. Now I'm living in one house, renting the other one out. Right? By the age of 61, I've paid off 3 houses to the value of 5 million Rand each. Now I'm earning in property rental probably 50, 60, 70,000 Rand a month. Do you think I can afford to retire now? Or should I have just waited, just worked my job, did nothing extra, waited till I was 20 years. So I would have waited till I was 60 before I paid my house off, and then I only had one house, 5 million Rand that I had to live in. Guys, we want you to think about your retirement differently. Think about money differently. Think about investment and debt differently. Debt is crippling you. Your family to come. You need to break out of the cycle. Think about the opportunity that you have long term. What can this business do for you in 20 years? After 48 months, you're close on about 70,000 Rand. And after 60 months, you've created for yourself about 1 million Rand in recurring income annually. Can you even believe that? Ask your brain right now, what does it mean to earn 1 million Rand extra annually? It's 60 months away. It's based on this formula called 3 plus 2, this theory, this academic proposition, example of 3 plus 2. But like I said, it's easy to become a wealth engineer. And it's very easy to be part of the 0 plus 0 club here at DuePoint. Because there are many of them. Get excited about the presentation. Yes, I want to earn 1 million Rand a year. Become a wealth engineer. Don't schedule it. Be 0 plus 0. How much are you going to be earning after 60 months? How much are you going to be earning after 20 years? But you can do more. 3 plus 2 is just an example. You can do more than 3 plus 2. And we've got wealth engineers doing more than 3 plus 2. Not only an example, proof in the pudding, practical, real people, not actors, doing more than 3 plus 2. And we will invite a host of them up to share their stories every single month, to show to everybody that it's possible, that these aren't special people that have got some degree in human behavior or human psychology that are conning people into joining some scheme. These are real people that are just contributing spare time, sacrificing time into this platform to make a difference. So Denzel joined at the end of August, and he tracked 3 plus 2 fairly closely. Right? Because if you look at when he joined and what he got his earnings to, it was about 6 months, and he got to almost 2,500 Rand. But if you go listen to his testimony, which is on YouTube, you can go listen to his story. He'll say to you, when I joined the business, I didn't really understand the full gravity of what I was getting myself into. He didn't appreciate the power that DuePoint actually provided. He didn't. But he said at the beginning of the year, he suddenly clicked. He went from doing the business here, now and then. We didn't even see him. I don't remember seeing him much. He would come in now and again. You come to our office every day, I promise you, you're more likely to see Denzel here every single day now. What was the result? Look at April. That should be 2017. Look at April and May. How much increase did Denzel give himself in the space of 30 days? 100% increase in 1 month. But in employment, we're begging for 8% increase a year. Just so that you can afford groceries. Do you understand the ridiculousness of the situation we find ourselves in employment? Don't look to your employer to change your situation. They're not going to change it. You have to change it for yourself. Denzel has done that. And again, he doubled it again. He's not waiting for 8% a year. He's giving himself an increase every single month. Here's Nonkubela in the Eastern Cape. Look when she joined. 2016, a year ago. And she did nothing. Nothing for a year. Nothing. She joined, paid her product, didn't do anything. Listen to her testimony. She admits to being involved in these other schemes that were taking up her time. Fortunately for her, she was friends with someone that was having massive success at DuePoint. And she saw that success on their Facebook page. And she phoned this person and said, "Sure, what's going on at DuePoint? Help me. I want to understand what DuePoint's all about." And she got stuck in. Look at her earnings. They jumped. They were literally nothing in December last year. They jumped again, and they jumped again. Month on month on month. You can increase the size of your asset, which will increase your recurring income. So, one of our hardest working wealth engineers. This little lady runs a nursery school. She has aspirations of starting a logistics company, a trucking business, a bus company. Right? Those are big aspirations. She wants DuePoint to fund the start of that business. We'll all have different reasons why we want to get involved in this business. That's hers. And she admittedly said she started doing the business incorrectly last year. She was bringing the wrong people in. She said she would just bring anyone in that was interested in business into the business. These were not people that were going to build the business with her. And so her business would go up and then down and up and down. Did she quit in the frustration? She didn't. She endured. And this year she said, "I'm starting the business again. I'm going to build properly this time." And she's just seen success month after month. Guys, the accountability lies with you. I can't force you to spend time in this business, to be convinced by it. I can do my best to support you, but only if you get engaged. We've got hundreds of wealth engineers that we pay every single month that have already created an income stream for them over and above their employment salaries. They've made a difference. You can do that in a very short space of time. You can start making a small incremental difference to what you're earning every single month. Again, accountability lies with you. So that's the returns. That's what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every month. Over and above that, we've got an XP rewards program, right? So now the rewards program for us is almost like an incentive program to kind of incentivize the wealth engineers, get you a little more excited about this business. It's also a training program for us because it allows us to kind of incentivize you getting involved in certain behavior here at DuePoint. For you, for the wealth engineer, it's a rewards program based on your success. So if you become a new wealth engineer, you're going to engage in typical wealth engineer behavior, like coming to intro presentations, watching the live stream, introducing people to the business, logging into the website. And when you do all these things, we give you something called XP. XP has got no monetary value. It stands for experience points. All it is, it's a number that indicates to us how active you are as wealth engineers. And when you start collecting more and more of this XP, and you start to have success in this business, which is you building your channel of distribution, when you meet those two criteria, we reward you, right? So here's the XP rewards table up to rank 20. If you join this morning, you will be rank 0. You're still part of the 0+0 club. But very quickly, you can get to rank 1. Within a day, you can get to rank 1, I reckon. Because all you need is 1,000 XP, which you can do in a day easily, and you only need 4 products now in your channel of distribution. And if you can do those 2 things, we will give you a reward on top of your return at the end of the month. And the more success you have in this XP rewards program, the bigger the rewards get. 100 Rand, then it becomes 400 Rand, 1,500, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. We give tools to our wealth engineers that help them be more effective in building their channels of distribution. So here's Patrick and Pumi at rank 5. We give them a lightning memory stick. It's a beautiful little device that plugs into anything, literally anything. It can plug into cell phones, it can plug into tablets, TVs, laptops, computers. Doesn't matter whether it's Apple, Android, or Banana, it plugs into anything. The beauty of that is that we've got our video collateral on that little stick. So they have the opportunity, regardless of where they are, what device they have on them, they can show people what DuePoint is all about. At rank 7, we give you these luxury premium business cards. These cards, if you had to try go get them manufactured on your own, will actually cost you double that. That's the price if we get 2 sets made at the same time. If you get 1 set made, it's going to cost you just over 20,000 Rand for 1 set, 1,000 cards. They are 4 times thicker than any other card. They're on display in the merchandise cabinet. Go look at them. Or you can go ask Patrick and Pumi or Donnie to see their business card. They probably won't give it to you. They'll just let you feel it, and then they'll put it back in their pocket. Right? Why do we do that? Because no one's heard of DuePoint outside of this building. So when you go prospecting, when you go speak to people about the DuePoint opportunity and you mention the company DuePoint, there's no credibility in the name DuePoint because there's no brand value around it. No one knows about it. But when you place a business card that's about 50 times more expensive than the business card that person has, I promise you your credibility will go up very quickly. And that person will give you a little more time to explain what DuePoint's all about. At rank 9, this is the one reward in the XP Rewards program that's not once-off. All those other ones, the tools, the money, are once-offs. But when you get to rank 9, you get to enjoy this international conference that we take out rank 9 and up wealth engineers on every single year. Every single year. Business class flights. You and your family. 7 days, all expenses paid trip to a 5-star luxury resort for our international conference every single year. You're not going to have a family meeting at the end of the year to check your bank balance to see whether you're going to the Val Dam or to Umhlanga Rocks or to Cape Town or whether you're staying at home. The only thing you have to worry about when you get to rank 9 is that you're able to take the leave. That's it. We'll do the rest. You make sure you tell your HR manager where you're going, that you're flying business class again. You see how good kids look in business class? Little kid in a big chair. That's what you want to put on Facebook. Not standing in front of DuePoint reception when you still rank 0 plus 0. Right? So we've made a video. This video shows you where we're going. It shows you where we're going and the resort that we've booked at the end of this year already. Have a look.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
Does it look up to your standard? I tease my wife. She always says she wants to go to Mauritius. I say, why do you want to go to Mauritius? Umhlanga is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. There's the sea, the beach. At least everyone speaks English in KZN. Why do you want to go to Mauritius? Where would you prefer to go?
Mauritius.
Does it look good?
Yes.
Did I tell you it was going to be easy? No, it's not. But every single person has equal opportunity to get to rank 9. There's no time limit on it. We've already had this year 3 new families that have qualified for this. We've had one gentleman who qualified in 5 months, rank 9. From 0 plus 0 to rank 9 in 5 months. The accountability lies with you. You decide how much you want this. At rank 11, guess what happens at rank 11? There's one unique thing about the car that you get given. One unique thing. There's no debit order at the end of the month. Can you see this common thread throughout the presentation? Become debt-free. Become debt-free. This is just rank 11. The program went up to rank 20. This is still early days. We've already planned up to rank 28 in our forecasting. Imagine what rank 28 looks like. Are you here for 3 months, or are you here for as long as it takes to make success out of this business? Another benefit we have for our wealth engineers is something that we do every single month called the Wealth Quest. It's that little pink circle in the top left corner there, Wealth Quest. And every month we issue a different challenge to our wealth engineers. And every month there's a different reward if you conquer that challenge. And this month is called You're in the Army Now. And the challenge is, if you're able to rank up in the XP Rewards program, you'll get rewarded with 60 gigs of data. This is very much a data-driven business. Nothing that we give to our wealth engineers is just for fun. Nothing. Everything is geared towards making you more effective as being a wealth engineer. So this is not for your kids to sit on YouTube and watch Peppa Pig. It's for you to build your business. It's 10 gigs a month for 6 months. You just have to rank up in the XP Rewards program. We've got another incentive that we're running called the Winter Solstice XP Challenge. Today certainly feels like Winter Solstice. And the challenge is, for every new wealth engineer that you introduce into your business successfully, we will give you 1,000 XP between the 21st and the 30th of June. Right? So how much is that? That's about 10,000, right? 10,000 XP that you can make in the space of 10 days. All opportunity for our wealth engineers. Benefit for our wealth engineers in this business. Okay. So this slide basically just illustrates our business model, because some people think, well, DuePoint seems to be spending a lot of money on their wealth engineers in form of returns and rewards. I hope they have their business model right. I don't want to be part of a business that's liquidating in a year's time because we're spending too much money. So this slide basically just illustrates our business model. This is a business that we've done all over the world successfully in the past. The left-hand side shows you the traditional business. Traditional businesses engage in traditional forms of marketing, something that my business was involved in very much in the last 20 years, and it takes on the form of TV advertising, billboards, radio, magazines, newspapers, all of that, right? Insurance companies spend a lot of money on client acquisition. We know this because there's even a radio ad, I'm sure you've heard, where you phone them. Phone us, and if we can't better your quote, we'll pay you 400 Rand. That gives you an indication of how much they're paying for client acquisition. And if you claim free, we'll pay you 700 Rand, right? Gives you an indication of what client acquisition in the insurance space costs. DuePoint does not do any marketing or advertising. You won't see a DuePoint logo outside of this building. Nothing. We rely on you. We rely on our wealth engineers to tell people about the business opportunity. And so that portion of the premium, which amounts to billions that the insurance industry spends on client acquisition, we don't spend that on marketing and advertising. Instead, we attribute that portion of our premium to returns and rewards for who? our partners in the business, our wealth engineers. And that's how the business model works. Okay. The products. You might have noticed that I've been speaking for 50 minutes and I haven't mentioned anything about the products. Because when you guys go out there, you're not going to speak about products. You're going to speak about business opportunity. But I'm going to tell you about the products. There are 3 products. The first one is Access Wealth. They all have different benefits. So you guys are free to look at taking out one product or all 3 products. Number 1 is Access Wealth. It is an investment product. It costs 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets put into a tax-free investment fund in your name. A true investment. Okay, the investment sits with Sanlam, the biggest investment house in the country, and is managed by global fund managers. On top of this investment, we give you a little bit of insurance. We give you 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So if you have this investment and you are killed in an accident or shot or whatever the accident is, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 110,000 Rand plus whatever's in the investment. You can draw the funds out of this investment immediately. It takes about 72 hours for us to administrate the withdrawal, but it's not a fixed deposit. It's not a notice deposit, right? So you've got free access to this investment. So this is the investment product, Access Wealth. Product number 2 is called Wealth Guard. This is purely an insurance product. So it's only insurance. For 274 Rand a month, you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of our personal accident cover product is that it's accessible to anyone over the age of 18, because what happens is we don't profile you from a risk point of view. This is not life insurance. This product's not going to cover you in the event of you dying from cancer or TB or diabetes or old age, right? The advantage of that is that we don't profile you from a health risk point of view. We're not going to ask you for urine tests and blood tests, send the nurse to you, ask you to fill out 10 pages of your medical history. It's a very clean product, accessible to anyone over the age of 18. You can be 70 years old, you can be diabetic. The premium remains the same and the cover remains the same. So this is our insurance product, Wealth Guard. The third product is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club Program. It's a mouthful, but just call it Wealth Points. Wealth Points aims to save you money on the money you're spending every month anyway. Okay? So we've got a list of suppliers there, partners, companies. For 274 Rand a month, you get to enjoy the discounts that we've negotiated with these businesses. So the product aims to save you money on the money you're spending anyway. How much money are we spending on groceries every month? There's ShopRite Checkers, one of our partners. You get 2.5% off your entire trolley at ShopRite Checkers. Entertainer is an awesome one. Over 1 million Rand in buy one, get one free vouchers. Gives you access to restaurants around the country, hotels around the world, spas, all kinds of things. Over 1 million Rand in discounts there. Eagle Ford is a new supplier. That's 60 gigs of data. That's a new partner coming on board. We've negotiated data at 1/3 of the price for people on our Wealth Points program. Data at 1/3 of the price. We are adding new partners to this program all the time. If you want immediate benefit out of any of the products, this is a great product to have. So those are the 3 products. If you have any questions around them, come speak to me. The products have been designed to be simple and straightforward. They are not these complicated financial products. Okay? The products are geared so that you can build your business simply. Okay? Ask me questions afterwards if you have them. I remind you of the support that you get here at DuePoint. Everything that we do is to support our wealth engineers. Lean into the support. Don't become a new wealth engineer and think you know how to do it. You've done it before. You've been in a similar business. I don't want to hear any of that. This is a unique business with a unique business proposition. Get stuck in. Look at the dev seminars, the training seminars that we do. We live stream every event out to the entire country all the time. We are live now. There are about 200 people watching us around the country. That's for you to build your businesses outside of Johannesburg. We've spent a fortune on technology in this business to make it easier for you, to make you more effective. And you can use these facilities. These facilities are for our wealth engineers. Come to your own presentations here. Come have meetings in the boardrooms, the breakout rooms. There's free tea and coffee so that you enjoy your stay. And there's free Wi-Fi so that you don't have to incur any cost when you're here and using data. Okay, so lean into that support. Here's the big orange slide. Remember, I warned you. We're near the end. What was the decision? Am I interested in the people that aren't joining this business? Not really, to be honest. There will be a host of excuses why you don't want to join the business. I don't have enough time. I love that excuse. I don't have enough time. Nothing gets my blood boiling when someone says, who needs more money, tells me they don't have enough time. Do you want the money to fall out of heaven? The decision is, have you decided in the last 60 minutes how this business actually fits into your schedule? Are you going to go home this afternoon and tell the kids, sorry, Saturdays is now for DuePoint? You can choose any time, but you have to choose the time. Schedule it in. Is it Monday nights? Is it every night of the week? Are you like Denzel, every night of the week and weekends? Right? How does it fit into you? I don't want you to sacrifice your entire life for this business, but I want you to realistically schedule it into your schedule so that you can reach that goal. And that goal might be having 3 houses or 5 million rand each by the time you retire. It might just be earning 2,500 rand a month extra. Maybe that's all you need and you'll be happy. That's fine. We all have different goals. Set the goal, know how to work towards it, schedule it into your routine. If you have any questions around this business, come speak to me afterwards. If you have any objections, be brave and come speak to me about those objections. I can answer most of them. We make joining very easy. Like I said, we've got free Wi-Fi. You can jump onto that. If you've got your own smart phone or tablet on you, we've got iPads available too. Jump onto our homepage, click on the big blue apply button. So it's www.DuePoint.net. You click on that blue apply button, go through the application form. You'll become a wealth engineer in about 7 minutes. 7 minutes. You can start phoning those first 5 people. You can get to rank 1 by Monday. You can be earning by the end of next month. That's how quickly you can start making a difference. So this was the dev seminar that we ran this morning at 9 o'clock, called Your First 30 Days. It's the first time we've done this dev seminar. It is already available on YouTube for you to watch. We have built a schedule for new wealth engineers that maps out your first 30 days, because that's the biggest question we get from new wealth engineers. They come up to me and say, what do I do next? This will tell you what you do next for the next 30 days. Go look at that dev seminar. It's short. I cut it down to 45 minutes just to make it a little more convenient for everyone. And there's a schedule available for you to download that you can print out. Get stuck in, guys. Get stuck in. We've got merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. These are tools to help you be more effective. Please consider, if you're a new wealth engineer, getting business cards and a USB stick. Don't have to get the USB stick, but the business card, certainly. This business is all about credibility. You're talking about a business other people haven't heard about. You need to speak professionally, behave professionally, look professional. Have business cards when you're proposing the best business in the country. Have business cards. The business cards are on display. All the pricing is on the counter for merchandise. The USB stick's very convenient because it's got all our videos on. And nowadays you can plug USB sticks into TVs, right? So consider getting the USB stick if you don't want to spend the data. I remind you, we've got a YouTube channel. All our videos ever produced are on that YouTube channel. All the training, interviews, the testimonies from the wealth engineers, everything is on that YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. It'll tell you every time we've got a new video that we're uploading, and it'll tell you every time there's an upcoming live stream that's about to happen. And when you become a new wealth engineer, download the mobile app if you have a smartphone. Okay, for Android and Apple, download the app. You can run your channel from that little app. That little app will tell you everything that's happening in your business in real time. In real time. I've got wealth engineers waking up at 2 in the morning to see if anyone joined. True. And that's it, guys. I thank you so much for your time on this Saturday morning. The weather looks a little better outside. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I really hope the new wealth engineers, that your goal is rank 1 by next week. Because if you can get to rank 1, I promise you, you can get to rank 9. Thank you. Have a wonderful week.